Okay. One Piece chapter 1127. First and foremost, man, I gotta say, even for as big of a Nami fan as I am, I can't even defend her for this shit. I can't even defend her for this. Like when they're getting attacked, she knows damn well Usopp is not dead because she's like, "Oh, Usopp, open your eyes or we're going to die." She picks this dude up, lifts him up so he can take the brunt of the attack that's coming. Oh my god, yo. Even I can't defend it for that, man. Man, yo. This goes down as like one of the top three funniest Nami moments and also one of the top three just pettiest. I can't believe this bitch did this moment. Like, it's moments like this where, as bad as I want to push the agenda, I can't do it. So let me back up, man, because I could dwell on this forever. Let me back up. So getting right into it, man. So like we open up this chapter and everything is life size. And everybody's like, oh my God, there's a fire. What's with this smell? They're seeing bees that have just fallen everywhere. And at first, when I first read the chapter, it took me a second to kind of figure out, at least I think I kind of figured out what happened. Those are the bees that Nami saw earlier, and Nami just spazzed out and completely, rightfully so, was like, oh my God, hold on. These things are huge, and she basically blew them up. Well, now everybody is trying to figure out what's going on. Hey, there's a rumbling that's happening here. What happened to the Titanic rabbit that fell? We learn later that obviously that was Luffy and the rest of the Straw Hats on the island. But we jump over and we get a moment where Nami's like, what's with all these horrible bees? And that's where you have Zeus. And Zeus is, turning into loyal Nami's slave, basically. And Nami's freaking out. And her immediate first reaction is like, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, come save me. She even says, I'll settle for Usopp, which, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I like Usopp, but it's like, the way that she said it, I'll even settle for Usopp. This was one of those moments where, like, you would think I am used to the scaredy cat trio that we have for the Straw Hats. But, man, just seeing this, like, it just kind of made my heart sink a little bit. Where I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. Like, I know Usopp has gotten stronger. Like, Nami's gotten stronger. But it's just like, damn. Like, Oda's really running with the gag. I'm not mad at it. It works. Like, if I'm not lying to you, I laughed several times through this chapter. So the gag works. But man, like, my heart broke a little bit. Because, like, I like Usopp a lot. Like, I root for Usopp and Nami because they're just characters that I feel like are the most human out this entire crew of monsters. Like, if you're on a crew like this with all these super powerful beings, which again, they're strong in their own right, but when you're in a crew of people like this, it's kind of hard not to be in a situation where you feel like you're just being left behind and you're facing all these super impossible tasks. And I like how Nami just asked the important question, which we still don't get a damn answer for, which is, am I going crazy? I don't even remember changing. Who changed her? And then she goes, is this a dream? And that's where, for me, as soon as she said that, my immediate reaction was like, even though I know that they are missing, I'm glad Oda brought this up because that drink that they were drinking was supposed to make them hallucinate. And so I'm glad Oda kind of dropped it in there where the character is starting to put pieces together. And so with Nami, she's fallen to the ground. She's seeing how things are different. And I like how just like the different animals that she is seeing, they're getting super big. They're chasing after her. Usopp is calling after her, saying, come help me. And it's one of those things where I like how Oda just continues when he dives into a new island. He doesn't hesitate to just immediately throw you into the world building and just keep showing you this island's different from the last island that you had. And what's interesting about this is that when Nami runs into Usopp and Usopp's like, save me, and he's in the process of getting eaten, you have Nami, she's freaking out, and she's like, dude, you're the one that's supposed to save me. And instead of just being the useless, helpless damsel in distress, Nami's like, okay, gotta get into action. And she immediately has Zeus go through, extend, and she has Zeus begin zapping and attacking, and that ends up blowing her off. And she ends up falling on top of the monster that was trying to eat Usopp. It jumps Usopp from the mouth. And then these two, they immediately just take off running because they just piss this thing off even more. And I gotta say, I like Usopp's attire. And so this is definitely, if it wasn't obvious before, it's definitely obvious now. Usopp's design reminds me of Dory and Brogy. And so that lets you know, like, okay, we're on an island of giants now. And it's kind of interesting that, like, Usopp has that design, and he's the one that recalls how the drink that they had that the giants had was supposed to make them hallucinate. So Usopp takes the approach that I would do if I'm in his situation. I'd be like, hey, this is something where I'm probably hallucinating. So screw it. And so Usopp decides to test it. And he gets lucky because when he gets swatted by the paw, it sends him flying, but it doesn't kill him. And he and Nami, they're just sent completely flying out. They land on the ground. And Usopp, I don't know if he's playing dead. I don't know if he's unconscious. But essentially, Nami is like, Usopp, open your eyes. We're about to die. And then right when she starts crying, and then you have someone say Nami with the heart-shaped stuff at the end. At first, right? And this tells you, I completely missed this. At first, when I saw this, my immediate reaction was like, is that Usopp? Is Usopp the one that is saying that? And I'm like, no, that don't make sense. And then sure enough, you see Sanji just coming in, and you get the returning gag. There's a damsel in distress, therefore Sanji cannot be too far behind. And right underneath that panel, which is a beautiful double spread, but right underneath that panel, you have Luffy. Luffy has completely showed up. You have Zoro show up, and they just take down that giant cat that they're facing. And I'm like, wait a second. So all the Straw Hats are together, or at least the ones that are here, and Zoro's not lost. This has got to be the first that Zoro's never been lost on a new island. And what I like here is that we start getting more information. It just ties back into the opening of the chapter, which is we find out about that giant rabbit. And so basically, they killed that giant rabbit. They cooked it because Luffy says that that rabbit they had earlier was tasty. And so this is one of those times where, again, it's in character because you're looking at it and you're going, if anybody in this crew has eaten, it's damn sure been Luffy. And just given how his powers work, like, he has a high metabolism, so it has to be done. And what I like, I'm laughing just thinking about it, is when Sanji's checking on Nami, and Nami's like, I was so scared, Sanji. She's already in the process of trying to start gaslighting this guy. And she's like, poor Usopp is dead. And Usopp's like, I'm never going to forgive you for this shit. Yo, when I tell you this chapter had me dying, this was funny. I know different people don't like Straw Hat interaction chapters, but I love this, man. I love this a lot. And what I like here too is like Luffy's already like, hey, I really want to go explore, because he's like, there are a bunch of animals that are huge around here. They're probably tasty. We should start collecting. And you got Zoro once again acting like the responsible vice captain, reeling in his captain, saying, hey, finding the sea and getting back to our crewmates is the most important thing to do here. And Sanji's like, Nami, you should really be careful. Those bees that you had, those honey bees, they're very, very good for nutrition. And I like Nami's reaction. Again, this is the human aspect being shown. Nami's looking at it like, how the fuck are you guys this comfortable? We got all this shit going on right now, and you guys are acting like absolutely nothing happened. And, again, like, that's the beauty of how Oda set this crew up. There are human-like characters amongst the Straw Hats. Like all the Straw Hats are ridden with human elements, but I feel like those two, Usopp and Nami, best encapsulate what it means to be human in a fantastical world setting like this, man. So I'm curious. Looks like we're on Elbaf now, and if we're on Elbaf, we're getting very close to interacting with Shanks. We're getting very close. I really, I really want to see where this is going. Cause like Shanks just had a fucking ship blown up because Yasop is a piece of shit. I'm still pissed off about that. So my chapter question to you guys, we're gonna keep this one simple. If you had to rank the Straw Hats in terms of how they're written in terms of being human relatable characters, how would you rank the Straw Hats? But, as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.